The hunt is over, because the moment you believe you need a friend, you have handed over the keys to your internal kingdom. You have essentially told the universe that you are a hollow shell, incapable of sustaining your own light without the reflected glow of another person's approval. You have placed your peace of mind in the hands of fallible, fluctuating strangers and called it connection. Most people are terrified of their own company. They collect friends like security blankets, terrified of the silence that comes when the room is empty and the screens are off. They tolerate disrespect. They endure toxic mediocrity, and they drown in the shallow gossip of people they don't even like, all because they are afraid of being alone. They mistake a crowded contact list for a personality. They are social junkies, shaking in the dark, waiting for a text back so they can feel included for another 5 minutes. They have built their entire identity on the shifting sands of a social circle that will forget them in a week if they stop being useful or entertaining. They are beggars at the table of human connection, grateful for any scrap of attention thrown their way. But the untouchable mind knows the coldest truth of all. Friendship is optional. The world is screaming for connection, for belonging, for a tribe to hide within so they don't have to face the brutal reality of their own existence. They think there is safety in numbers, but they are just cattle huddling together before the slaughter. But you have become a tomb for social desperation. While the masses are drowning in the need to be liked, a hidden elite moves through reality with a terrifying, silent independence. They aren't antisocial. They are socially sovereign. They don't have friends because they are lonely. They have alliances because they choose to. They understand that most of what the world calls friendship is just a mutual contract for the avoidance of solitude. It is a pact made by people who are terrified of looking at their own reflections. It is a group hallucination designed to keep the void at bay. Carl Jung whispered truth that would shatter most social structures. Every person you meet is just a projection of your own psyche. If you are missing a friend, you are actually just missing a part of yourself you haven't mastered yet. Most people use friends as mirrors to hide their own fractures. They need someone to agree with their complaints, someone to validate their victimhood, and someone to help them ignore their own shadow. They aren't looking for growth. They are looking for an echo. They want a witness to their mediocrity, so they don't have to change. They seek the comfort of the herd because the herd never asks you to be a god. Stop being an amputee of the soul, searching for a prosthetic in every stranger you meet. The average person spends 80 years trying to be agreeable. They want their peer group to favor them, their neighbors to admire them, and their squad to back them up in every petty argument. It is a pathetic, exhausting way to live. It is the ultimate hallucination of security. You cannot control the loyalty of others. Loyalty is a transaction that can be canceled at any moment. But you can become the mountain. The mountain doesn't ask the forest for permission to exist. It doesn't negotiate with the birds or the trees. It simply remains. When you realize that 99% of people are just passing through your life to show you where you are still needy, you stop being a target. You stop being a puppet. You stop performing for an audience that doesn't actually care if you succeed or fail. This isn't just dark philosophy. It's a brutal rewiring of your nervous system. Neuroscience proves that the fear of social rejection is a primitive survival loop. Your brain thinks that being cast out of the tribe means certain death in the wilderness. But you aren't a caveman anymore. The wilderness is inside you, and you are its master. You can snap the circuit. You can build a buffer zone between the social stimulus and your internal response. You can train your brain to witness a betrayal, a ghosting, or a falling out and feel nothing, not a cold, dead nothing, but a vast, oceanic silence. A silence that says, my value was never determined by your presence. Imagine you're the sky. People come into your life like clouds. Some bring rain, some bring thunder, some bring light. But the sky doesn't take the clouds personally. It doesn't beg the storm to stay, and it doesn't grieve when the sun sets. It just holds the space for the movement to happen. Most people are the weather, frantically trying to find another cloud to cling to so they don't feel so isolated. You must become the sky. You must become the infinite space that allows others to come and go without ever being bruised by their departure. You must realize that your essence is a vacuum, and the vacuum is never lonely. It is simply full of itself. Why do you give so much power to people who don't even know your soul? Why do you let a friendship or a lack thereof dictate the quality of your afternoon? If you are truly at peace with yourself, someone leaving your life should be as interesting as the sound of a distant lawnmower. It's just noise. It's just data. It is a change in environment, nothing more. It has no access to your core unless you open the door, bow down, and invite it in. Most people are walking open wounds, begging everyone they meet to be gentle. You must become the armor. The people who are truly untouchable are those who have mastered the zero attachment protocol. They enjoy company, but they don't require it. They appreciate loyalty, but they aren't surprised by betrayal. They see the world as it is, a shifting landscape of temporary alliances and fleeting interests. When you stop being a target for social manipulation, people stop shooting. Manipulators and energy vampires feed on your need to be liked. They smell your desperation for approval. If they can't make you flinch with the threat of exclusion, they lose all power over you. Your silence is a vacuum that sucks the leverage right out of their hands. The supreme paradox is this. The moment you stop needing friends, you become the most magnetic person in the room. Why? Because you aren't vibrating with the stench of neediness. You aren't trying to be anything. You aren't scanning the room for a friendly face to anchor your insecurity. You are a mountain, and the mountain is the only thing that remains after the storm has passed. People are drawn to the stillness they cannot break. They want to be near the person who doesn't need them to stay. They are fascinated by the person who can walk away from a social circle without a single backward glance. The game of your entire life is won or lost in that tiny, microscopic gap between the social trigger and the reaction. In that split second, you are either a pup of the tribe or a god of your own destiny. You can choose to let your worth be dictated by a dinner invite or on a screen, or you can choose to be the observer of the longing. One path leads to a life of noisy, crowded desperation. The other leads to a throne of internal power. Master your perception, and you realize the world never had any power over your social standing at all. It was always you. It was always your energy. It was always your choice to believe that lonely was a bad word instead of a sacred state of purity. Most people run from loneliness because they hate the person they are alone with. If you fix the person, you stop fearing the solitude. You become your own best ally, your own highest counsel, and your own most trusted confidant. So, let the social circles shrink. Let the best friends vanish into the mist of the past. Let the invitations stop coming. Don't flinch. Don't explain. Don't defend your right to be alone. Don't post about how happy you are in your solitude. That's just another cry for attention. Just watch it all with a quiet, lethal smile, knowing that your kingdom is not built on the opinions, the presence, or the validation of others. You are no longer a mirror reflecting the frantic need for belonging. You are the stillness that the herd is terrified of. The world thinks it's excluding you. It thinks it's punishing you with silence. In reality, you are the only one who has finally found the exit. You have realized that the tribe is just a collection of frightened individuals huddling together for warmth. You have found your own fire. You have realized that being misunderstood is the highest compliment a person can receive from a world that values conformity over truth. To be understood by the masses is to be as shallow as they are. If you are waiting for someone to complete you, you are inviting a predator to feed on your gaps. If you are waiting for a group to accept you, you are asking for a cage. Break the cage. Burn the pedestal. Realize that every friendship you've ever had was just a training ground for you to learn how to stand on your own 2 feet. Once you can stand alone, you can walk anywhere. You can enter any room, talk to any person, and leave any situation without losing a single ounce of your soul. The most dangerous person in the world is the one who wants nothing from you. No validation, no money, no friendship, no sex, no applause. When you want nothing, you cannot be controlled. When you miss no one, you cannot be blackmailed. When you need no tribe, you become your own law. You become an anomaly in the matrix, a glitch in the system of social control. Friendship is optional. Sovereignty is non-negotiable. The masses will continue to dance. They will continue to beg for likes and cry over broken bonds. They will continue to waste their years chasing the ghost of belonging. They will trade their potential for the comfort of being part of the group, never realizing that the group is headed for a cliff. But you become the sky. You have become the mountain. You have become the tomb where the world's social desperation goes to die. And in that death, you have finally found your life. Stop looking for the mirror. Look within. The only alliance that matters is the one between you and the silence. Master that, and you master the world. Stop identifying as a friend, a partner, or a member. Identify as the observer. The observer is never lonely because the observer is the totality of the experience. When you stand in your own power, you realize that people are not needed. They are simply encountered. Some encounters are useful. Some are entertaining. Most are irrelevant. But none of them are essential to your survival. The moment you grasp this, the heavy weight of social anxiety vanishes. You no longer care if the phone rings or if the chair next to you is empty. You are the king of an empty room, which is far better than being a jester in a crowded court. The world will try to pull you back. It will tell you that you're cold, that you're broken, that you're missing out. It will use every trick in the book to make you feel guilty for your independence. Smile at the attempt. It is the only weapon the herd has left. They need you to be needy because your strength is a mirror to their weakness. Your silence is a threat to their noise. Your solitude is a critique of their shallow lives. Stay in the tomb. Stay on the mountain. Let the world's desperation wash over you like rain on a windshield. You are dry. You are safe. You are sovereign. You have found the secret that the 1% guard with their lives. That the only person you ever truly need to be friends with is the one staring back at you in the mirror. Once that friendship is secured, the rest of the world becomes a playground instead of a battlefield. You are not alone. You are finally, for the first time, unaccompanied. And in that lack of company, you have found the entire universe.